What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for episode 5 and the final episode of Unpopular Opinions. We've got Brian Daigle with us, and we've got about 6 or 7 opinions to get through. And the first one is from Eric, and he says Steven Bergwijn showed more ability in a Tottenham shirt than Richarlison has at this current moment in time.
Oof. That's, do you know what? I mean, whenever you mention Bergwijn, there's two games that come straight to your mind, isn't there? And that's Leicester and his debut against Manchester City.
I mean, didn't he show more in that Leicester game than Richarlison has in his whole Spurs career so far?
Yeah, do you know what? I actually think Bergwijn, I didn't want him to go. I didn't want him to go. I think he was used wrongly by Conte.
Massively.
And should have been given more of an opportunity, but we can say that with Sarr and many other players. So I'm going to agree with Eric wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I'm going to agree as well. But the caveat in there is obviously Richarlison still has time to turn it around. Yeah,
he does. But Bergwijn would chip in with goals. Bergwijn had that pace. We saw that what he could do. And you look at those goals that we were just talking about in those games, apart from the Leicester one, the equaliser, which was just a thumping into an open goal, the technical ability and the pressure on him, he withstood them all. So I think Ange could have got a tune out of him.
I agree. Abhishek says when Bentancur comes back to his usual best, Bissouma, Lolo and Maddison will be the best midfield in the league, even when Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri are available for Manchester City.
Yeah, this one is what we've got to remember with this is when Bentancur comes to his best, does he suit Maddison and Bissouma? Which you'd say 100%. Great players.
100%.
Great players. So
100%.
Then this is a huge thing to discuss, and I would agree. But you got to look at it as well. When you look at this, Kevin De Bruyne is coming to the end of his Man City days. Is it, or maybe not the end?
Still one of the best players in the world, though.
Oh, without a doubt. I think Kevin De Bruyne. I love that man so much. I think he's incredible. But the way I look at it is his injuries are now piling up. You look at the last couple of seasons, he started to get those injuries that ruled him out. I don't know how much longer he has on his contract. And I think Bentancur, or all three of those, will still be playing once he leaves. So these three are just at the beginning of their Spurs career together, whereas De Bruyne is closer to the exit, I would say, at Man City than any of these players. And I think these three are capable of taking the throne of best midfield in the league.
But Rodri is probably the best midfielder in the Premier League at this current moment in time. De Bruyne is probably the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League at this current moment in time. So I can't, as much as I want to say it, I just can't say that the Spurs midfield will be better than the Man City midfield, because you've got two players who are literally the best at what they do in the Premier League. So I think it's hard to say that the Spurs midfield will be better than him.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Well, but again, what a discussion to have. That this could be the best in the league. And we'll have to wait and see. But we spoke about right now Maddison being the best player in the Premier League. We've also know, for me, Bissouma has been one of the best players or best midfielders in the Premier League, apart from his stupidity on Saturday. So there's two to say right here, right now.
Yeah,
they're the best at. So that's not a bad starting block.
True. All right, next up is from Trev. And Trev's had a stinker here. He's had an absolute stinker. Said, I'd keep Eric Dier.
Okay,
take it away, Brian. Take it away.
I was about to say, let's do crack the smile first. Listen, it's the end of his time. He needs to go, whether it's January or the end of the season he leaves on the free. His time is done at Spurs. Too many opportunities, too many wasted opportunities. And it's just time. Listen, I still think Eric Dier can go on somewhere and have a very good career. It's just not going to be in a Spurs shirt.
Yeah, I mean, go back to Sporting Lisbon and see out the rest of your days in the sun. And thank you for your service, Eric, but your service is no longer needed.
100%.
Next up is from Lonely Freedom saying Vicario is the best goalkeeper in the league.
Only player I think that gets ahead of him is Liverpool's goalie Alisson. I think he is absolutely magnificent, Liverpool's keeper. And I have, after my nuclear meltdown in the studio with you when Raya fell through, and you the same as well, we've both been in the mud about our comments to begin with about Vicario, and we've both been come out and said just how magnificent he is. And he has been. He has been, but again, it's 8 games. Alisson has done this consistently over a period of time. I think Vicario is above Edison. I really do. I really, really do. I just think the one goalkeeper that I was swapping for, if not that I wanted to, that would take that title is Alisson.
I agree that at the start of the season, I think the 2 leading goalkeepers in the Premier League are Alisson and Vicario. I think it's too soon to say he's better than Edison, to be honest, because it's only been 8 games. If he keeps up these levels until the end of the season, I think there'll be a case for it. But right now, with only 8 games gone, I think it's very hard to say that he's better than Edison. But I would say that in terms of form over the past 8 games, there's definitely a case for it, 100%.
Well, exactly. He's got the biggest save percentage, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And also, do you know what? I've gone so far from being against him. I've gone so pro for him now that I'm sticking with my he's the second best in the league.
Sanchos Berner says, another Oliver Skipp one, saying, Ollie Skipp is a championship player. He's not of the quality to challenge for top 4. Spurs fans only rate him because he's an academy product. I mean, we've answered similar to these in previous episodes, so we can just kind of gloss over it. But I think we agree and disagree. He's not a championship level player. He's better than that.
Yeah.
But he's not of the quality to help Spurs challenge for top 4.
Correct. Completely agree. Yeah, this is the thing. People say he's a championship level best. That's the bit. It's kind of like how people are saying that he's only getting this time because he's a youth product. To say he's championship at best is not right. I think he could do well in the Premier League. Yeah, he could do well in the Premier League. It's just not going to be at Tottenham Hotspur.
Agreed. And one from Smither D saying, they're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Well, we're going to agree with this, aren't we? Completely. Even during the bad days, we'd agree with this. But yeah, we are the greatest.
I've just liked a couple more that we'll just go through before the end of this episode. Where are they now? Just looking for them. No, they're not at the top. I'll just go through them in the notifications. But one from New Manager FC saying, I've recently been thinking Alfie Devine won't make it into our team.
Oh dear, you've come to Alfie Devine's #1 supporter. Listen, Alfie Devine, mark my words, bookmark this ticket, but Alfie Devine is going to be a superstar. A genuine, bona fide superstar. It's just whether he gets the chance to get into Tottenham. And I actually think with the way things are going right now, and the way one of the things I've loved about this new Tottenham as it's looking is we're getting rid of all the players that used to be the roadblocks for people, for the youth to come in. There is actually a genuine, if you look at it now, there is a genuine pathway. You can see it from whatever level you're coming through to the next level into the first team. I think his loan at Port Vale will be absolutely priceless for us. He's getting the minutes that we so desperately want him to have, and he will be making it at Tottenham Hotspur.
I think he will make it. I would like to see maybe more consistency from him in his loan spell so far. He's got 2 assists and 1 goal. Hasn't been playing like 90 minutes, but he has been playing fairly well when he has been playing, but still very, very young. So it's too early to judge, in my opinion. And I think that he will make it into the Spurs team, but I still think that he needs a good, probably another 2 loan spells or maybe 1 more next season.
Well, I literally think I think he's going to come back, and I think he features next season. Maybe not the starting 11, but he will be on that bench, and he will get game time. I honestly, I not worship. I love this guy. I love this guy. If put it this way, if Daniel Levy sold the club and I could start buying shirts, the first thing I do is buy a shirt with Alfie Devine's name on it, and he's not even at the club right now. I love that man. So yeah, he's going to make it. Believe me.
Love that. The Spurs Alchemist says Paratici is our best recent signing. As good as Ange is, where would we be today without Paratici's amazing players? All of them are just about perfect for us. When his ban is over, I pray Levy does the brave thing and reinstate him full time with his chosen chief scout Gabbanini.
It's hard to argue right now, isn't it? Yes, there was some bad buys in it and whatever it may be, but if you sit back and look at it now, that team that's playing so well, he's had a piece in every single thing in it. And what I think is getting majorly overlooked in this whole Paratici thing is brought in to make the players come and make everything better on the pitch. Well, that started with changing everything in the training ground and making huge behind-the-scene changes. Like he came in and said, "This is a mess. We need to do this, this, and this, and this, and this." He lifted. He got the wage increase for the youth teams, so the younger players could stay, and we could offer more money to keep. He has changed so much behind the scenes that in time it is going to reflect on the pitch, and we're now seeing the transfers he's making do well on the pitch now, which is brilliant, which is a major part of his job. But he had to come in and make a whole lot of changes in the back end, and I think that part is getting severely overlooked.
Yeah, totally agree. And I totally agree with the statement that Paratici has been just as important as Ange Postecoglou. I really agree. And last but not least, the last unpopular opinion before the next international break, and this is from THFC Dash, and he says, we should recall Tanguy Ndombele during the AFCON and pair him with Bentancur and Højbjerg. Keep that man away from this football club.
Yeah. Yes. Do you know what? If put it this way, if they started saying we need volunteers for people to go to space, I would send in a request to Tanguy Ndombele to be that person. He needs to stay well clear and never ever wear a Spurs shirt again. Not even wear a Spurs tracksuit. I don't want to see him in the Spurs training ground where he is a disgrace for what he's done. He's no.
If Sim was here, who knows what he would be saying?
Yeah, I'd rather get him I'd rather check his family tree to see if he has African descendancy, so we could send him to the African nations, rather than represent Tottenham whilst the other two. No.
Keep him well away. But look, that's the end of episode 5, and that is the end of the Unpopular Opinion series. Brian, thank you so much for joining us throughout this series. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.